Wait a minute. May I actually have it? More copies of new releases than ever before. What's going on around here, huh? Go home happy.
Hello and welcome once again to BrainBuster Video, the podcast. I am your host and owner of BrainBuster Video, Zach Romero. Joining me here on the sales floor is co-owner and general manager of BrainBuster Video, one Luna Lynn. Luna, thank you for coming back on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And so for today's topic, we accidentally fell into what I hope is going to become a new yearly tradition for Father's Day. We stumbled upon 2017's Dad, starring Nic Cage and Selma Blair as, Rotten Tomatoes summed it up as Mom&Dad's gonzo premise serves as an effective springboard for a wickedly dark, bloody comedy and an appropriately over-the-top performance from Nic Cage. However, unlike Big Shark in the last episode, this is not going to be just a general sort of overview of it. This is actually the debut of a new segment for the show that we are lovingly referring to as
Fuck You, It's a Good Movie.
Where we're going to really come to the defense of a film that cannot defend itself. So before we get into the quick summation that Luna's going to give for the film, some quick information here. Mom&Dad, released in 2017 overseas and eventually September 19th of 2018 here in the States, is considered a flop, pulling in a measly $286,000 against a budget of $4 million.
I will asterisk with that it was a limited release. Right. So it's not like this was a regular theatrical hullabaloo and that super duper flopped. It's they gave it a limited release because they didn't give a shit about it, and that's why it flopped. And
I think with the $4 million budget, most of that is probably being spent on your actors.
Yeah.
So therefore, there was next to no marketing to speak of for this particular film, which I don't think helped it either. It was written and directed by Brian Taylor. Now, you may say...
Oh my God, Brian Taylor.
Oh my God, Brian Taylor. No, she's shaking her head
no. No, I just thought it would be fun.
He is one of the minds behind Crank 1 and Crank 2.
Hey, you called it. That checks out.
And if you say, well, how in the hell did he get a hold of Nic Cage? Well, he also co-directed Ghost Rider 2, Spirit of Vengeance, you know, the one where Nic Cage literally pisses fire in one scene.
The good one.
So yeah, gonzo premise, I think, certainly sums things up. But Luna, please walk everybody through the overall high points and summation of 2017's Mom&Dad.
Well, I think with most Nic Cage films, there does need to be sort of a disclaimer in terms of, if you are not a Nic Cage fan, this movie will not be for you. Granted, if you are not a Nic Cage fan, go fuck yourself. But that's kind of the disclaimer before any Nic Cage movie of is if you're not into that level of crazy, then you're not going to get it. The girls who get it. You know what I mean?
That's true. And I also think that some of our defending of this film is going to be a lot of that. If you're not a Nic Cage fan, this movie's not for you.
Yeah.
If you're not a Brian Taylor fan in terms of him just doing stuff to be weird, you're not going to be a fan of this. This is not they're all playing against type in this. It's very much you are signing up for this.
Yeah. This is definitely one. You just fucking strap in and enjoy the ride. So our film starts in a hellish slice of suburbia. You've got Nic Cage and Selma Blair, obviously, are parentals.
Brent and Kendall,
right, because Kendall's not a real name.
Right.
So they have two children, an older daughter, a younger son. They're being parents. The daughter's just old enough to be like a twat. The son is fine. He's just kind of annoying because young boys are, no offense. To all you young boys listening.
Right. Brent and Kendall are two parents in their, I don't know, we're going to say late 30s, early 40s maybe. And they're both trying to wrap their head around being parents. Because Selma Blair's character is feeling older and desperately trying to maintain some kind of relationship with their daughter, who is lying and stealing money and just going down a bad path. Nic Cage, on the other hand, somewhat distant to the family and is just having the midlife crisis to end all midlife crisis, basically. That's the initial backdrop that we're being
We've worked our asses off with bare minimum to show for it.
Nic Cage even says at one point, I'm the adult that the younger me never thought I would have grown up into. They're just unhappy with overall situation. And the daughter even says, it's not my fault that you don't have a life. that kind of thing. So it's one of those very cynical views of like, this is what parenting is, by the way. Anytime you've ever been to a grocery store and there's some kid wailing in an aisle and you're like, oh my God, the greatest ad for birth control. That's what this film is that's the energy that's kind of going into this to start.
True. And even as watching it, I was having that thought of like, God, I'm so glad we don't have kids. Like, and for, I'd say a good majority of the people we do know who have children, it's like, you're perpetually asking, when is this supposed to be fun? Like, when is this supposed to be good or rewarding or enjoyable? Right. And clearly the answer is never. No offense to y'all who have crotch
problems. And that's what the film is sort of
not a great time.
Well.
Yeah, we're having a bad time.
Yeah. So, we're getting a slice of life of that in the beginning, and then some unknown entity, some unknown force.
There is a catalyst that we see depicted as static, like either radio static, TV static. There is the noise, and then typically either like the radio is on, or in one of the scenes they go into like the daughter's friend's house and the TV's just on like a static channel, and then you're like, oh Jesus Christ. So the catalyst is depicted in the form of like they hear the static and then a switch flips.
Right.
And then the parents decide, you know what? I gotta kill this fucking kid.
And they even present it as it is not George Romero's The Crazies, where now all of these people are just bloodthirsty animals, or a zombie film.
Yeah, because at one point there's a couple of the children, and they're like, don't worry, they don't want us.
Well, because
they want their own children. Like, they're not just killing anybody.
Right. There's an interview with a parent who has successfully killed their kid. And he's even self-aware enough in the interview. He's like, I'm trying to make myself cry so I don't come across like a psychopath, like a monster. But this was the best decision I ever made. And they were like, well, what do you think about everybody else doing it? And they're like, oh, it's awful. It's the greatest tragedy we've ever faced.
Yeah, like you should never, this is terrible,
right.
But I'm glad that I did it.
It's all self-contained. We do not get an explanation as to like what this is or what the cause of this is. It just is a thing, and now all parents want to kill their own kids.
Yeah, like it starts and we just go from 0 to 100. At one point, which I think really was just an ends justified the means of we have to put this scene in there. Selma Blair's sister is giving birth to her baby that day.
One of the sub-stories.
Yeah, one of the sub-stories. She goes to the hospital, and one of the greatest cutscenes is the nurse is like, oh, we have to protect the children. We don't know what's going on, but like we have to make sure that the kids are safe. And the jump cut scene is you see the camera inside like
it's not an infirmary, it's not
incubator. Yeah, like what's that word?
Where they have the newborns.
Where they put the babies. Yeah. There's a baby room, and you see through the glass all of the dads just standing there, like staring daggers.
Giving the shittiest looks.
And it is like the greatest fucking scene.
So
in all of cinema, like it's just so perfectly like, oh God.
So, and that's a perfect way to put this. So, like I said, we're getting this little slice of life of parenting is hard. And then we're introduced to the premise. The premise is all parents want to kill their kids today.
And then we step on the fucking gas.
And we start seeing like there's parents trying to like climb the fence at their kid's school. Like we're getting sort of a view of what is the whole world looking like in this case.
Yeah.
And then we come back to Nic Cage and Selma Blair. So it's like we see sort of like, here are other examples of crazy shit.
Yeah.
And then we're going to come back to this family that we started with. And so really, as we talked about when we were watching it, you can almost picture the dry erase board of premise of like parents want to kill their kids. Now, what's all the craziest shit we can think of to have them do? So there's like the housekeeper bludgeons her daughter with a meat tenderizer.
Yeah.
And
then it's just casually mopping it off.
Right. Because once it's done, it's done. There's no like bloodlust after the fact.
One of your favorites was the woman with the stroller.
Oh, yeah. Woman walking the street with a kid in the stroller, Selma Blair driving by, and she just chucks the stroller right into the street to try to get hit by the car. Like, wild shit. Now, one that we are going to bring up here in a second is we see somebody tried to kill a brand spanking new baby.
Yeah.
And, I'm not going to mince words. That scene's pretty fucked up.
It's uncomfortable.
It's pretty fucked up to see that. But I'm not like I'm not offended that the movie did that. Like, That's what we've all signed up
Yeah,
for
exactly. And I mean, like, spoiler alert, if you're that concerned about it, the baby was fine.
here. Yes, they do save the baby.
Yeah, they save the baby. And it's a phenomenal scene because it's like she gives birth and they're like, oh, we're sure mom wants to hold the baby. And then you just see like that look kind of set in her eyes.
No,
and you're like,
even
oh,
better than that is she, right before the baby comes out, she's asking Selma Blair, oh my God, this is so painful. This isn't worth it. And she's like, no, as soon as you see the baby, everything will be different.
Yeah.
Baby comes out, yay, give it to the mother, yay, oh, it's such a beautiful moment. And then the monitor behind her goes, and it's the static.
Oh, I didn't realize it was the monitor that triggered it. That's good.
And then she has that look on her face, and then they're like, oh, you're holding the baby too tight. You're holding the baby too tight. And they have to rip it away from her. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that like ratcheting up of the tension, because the one thing that I really like that the film does is as soon as it introduces the premise, in no uncertain terms, this isn't like a subtlety thing where it's like, oh, you know what? You take a step back and you realize, oh, all the parents wanted to kill the kids. No, we introduced the premise, and now from that point on, every scene is, by the way, let's all keep in mind that the parents want to kill these kids.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that. And so every time, like you said, with the incubation-y thing with all the little babies, and then it's just this like tank of sharks, basically, just these dads all just stare.
It's the tigers like pacing in the cage.
You're
like,
all this stuff, and you're like, oh no, like that sort of feeling as you're making it through. So then we finally come back home, and the last, I don't know, maybe quarter of the film is Nic Cage and Selma Blair trying to kill their fucking kids.
And it's great.
Yeah, and it has a little bit of a Alone kind of vibe. The kids are trying to like outsmart the parents and survive. But this, I think, is the catalyst of let's talk about performances and choices being made.
Yes. All of the choices clearly were correct ones.
Yes. I'll say that the kids are fine. Like you said before, the teenage daughter is an absolute bitch.
Yeah.
The little boy is fine enough.
Yeah, he's not... The thing that I was really glad about is they didn't make him the kid from the Babadook. Just be normal! There is no Babadook!
Right,
where you're like,
hey,
kill the kid.
Hey, kill that kid.
Yeah, you don't want the kid to die. Like, he's inherently harmless.
Yeah, and so we get the kids locked up. They basically outrun the parents. They lock themselves in the basement. And so then Nic Cage and Selma Blair are trying to figure out how to like either break down the door or get the kids to come out. And we get introduced to the Sawzall. So let's talk about performances of Nic Cage and Selma Blair specifically. So what did you think? Like, let's go into the detail a little bit.
Well, first and foremost, Nic Cage fan. Like, if he has 100 fans, I'm one of them. If he has one fan, it's me. If there are no fans, I am dead.
Yes.
Every situation and performance and choice that this man makes, I am wholeheartedly in support of 110%. And this film is no exception, because we get some really good classic Cage freakouts for absolutely no reason other than because we fucking can. There is a couple of beautiful flashback scenes to him as a younger man, joyriding in his dad's Firebird. I think it's a Firebird.
It is a Firebird.
Thank you. I watched Gone in 60 Seconds. And he is joyriding in the car, doing donuts with a topless woman on his lap facing him, so you just get boobies in face while he's doing this insane thing. It's phenomenal, and it's just the most Nic Cagey shit.
Well, and to further your point, as soon as I found out that the director and the writer is the guy who did Crank, and how I have seen how he directs Jason Statham in those movies, where it's like, hey, we have a crazy idea. We want you to meet that idea and exceed that idea.
Is somebody going to match my freak?
Right.
Yes.
That's exactly what this is. Because the premise of this is very straightforward.
Yeah.
Which allows Nicolas Cage to make weird choices. Like when how he hits the word motherfucker.
Motherfuckers! You're going to open this motherfucking door!
It's very weird.
It's so
for no reason.
Yeah. But I will say there's one scene in particular where Nic Cage and Selma Hayek.
Selma Hayek? I wish. No, Selma Blair.
I keep saying Selma Hayek in my head. I'm so stupid. Selma Blair. Brent and Kendall are having these sort of first time they've spoken aloud to each other of like, hey, my life didn't turn out the way that I thought it would, and I'm having big feelings about it. But the speech that Nic Cage gives is like incredible. Like, you know, I never thought I would be this, and like, this is what my life has become. And he says, instead of being you know, Brent and Kendall and, like, being us as people, now we're just reduced to mom and dad, which is obviously where we get the title from. But, like, it's a very fantastic performance of that speech.
It also includes the phrase, when I was young, I had a 9 out of 10 kill count, 100% sex.
Exactly. You get phenomenal shit out of this movie.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that maybe we need to have boundaries. I'm saying that maybe there needs to be a fucking grown-up zone and a fucking kid zone.
And I will say that Selma Blair is also very good in this. She's not nearly as, like, crazy as Nic Cage is, but she does a really great job of playing the straight man.
Yeah.
To let Nicolas Cage get so crazy. Because if they were both like that, it would be too much noise, and you'd be like,
I feel like it's just a cartoon, but he needs to be the nut.
Yeah, and she does a really great job of being kind of the brains and really sort of like...
Well, and it's a very, like, common dynamic in that kind of situation where it's like she's the one who has to remember that his parents are coming over that night, and she keeps everybody's schedules, and she's got to be the responsible one because she's mom, and you know, he gets to be the fun parent kind of thing. So, like, there's a lot of those sort of standard, like, family dynamic tropes.
Very much feels like a sitcom.
Exactly.
Like, it's like Married with Children. It's, you know, the mom is the true head of the household.
Loves Raymond. Yeah, like, where you're like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. Like, she doesn't get along with his parents because of course not. Yeah. Like, you know, there's all that kind of shit. So that, she does a very good job of bringing that kind of grounding to it.
Yeah, and so I think they play a great married couple that's over it.
Yeah, it was like, honestly, would love to see them in more stuff together because, like, they are fantastic.
Yeah, and just really, really excellent. And the dialogue is so super weird. And I was thinking about this on the ride home today. There is a certain amount of you need to understand the kind of director. As a viewing audience, you have to do a little teeny bit of research and figure out who is directing this.
Yeah.
If it's a Robert Eggers film, you know it's going to be bleak and it's going to be real thought out.
Yeah.
And probably pretty slow.
Yeah, you're going to have to eat and chew your fucking vegetables before you can get to dessert.
If it's a John Woo film, it's going to be a lot of slow motion, a lot of guns.
Doves.
It's going to be a lot of doves. If it's a Kubrick film, it may be a little bit of a thinker. When you're dealing with this director, when you're dealing with Brian Taylor, you have to go in with the expectation of, this is a guy who, when he was done filming the scene, dumped Red Bull on the film stock and then, like, sent it off to be developed. Like, that's who you're dealing with. The editing is very frantic.
Yes.
The, like, weird, overdone, like, dubstep soundtrack to this. The colors are sometimes, especially in the beginning, the colors are so, like, bright and saturated and crunched that it almost hurts your eyes, like, because it's serving a purpose. It's not it's not just like a Tommy Wiseau or, you know, a Neil Breen who's just like flat filming and then it's like a sitcom. There's a lot of like intense close-ups and things like that because it's building that sort of, you're in the scene with them.
Exactly. The difference is that those choices are intentional. It's like we didn't accidentally stumble into good dialogue or weird pacing or this sort of manic kind of editing. Like, those are all very intentional choices that add to the overall, like, vibe and the aesthetic, and they're all very good choices.
Also, as a side, I don't know, should we spoil stuff or not? I guess we can spoil things a little bit. This review is also all over the place, just like the film is, so, you know.
I mean, so was my brain. It made sense.
All right, tapeworms. So if you find yourself in a situation where you want to relive the glory days of VHS, then you need to go to BrainBuster.video to grab your very own copies of various classic titles, current titles, mixtapes. We are your best choice for retro conversion artists going today. So whether that be official releases like Killer Pinata or The Room, or it's some more under the radar, let's be cool about this and not involve the police type stuff, you should be going to brainbuster.video to pick up your merchandise or your new favorite new release today. And now, back to the show. One of the absolute highlights for me in this film is obviously Nic Cage's performance.
Obviously.
The world you kids are living in, the things you've seen on the internet, mouth to dildo, dildo to ass to ass, hi Brent, anal beads. Things I only saw in magazines.
But when you see the grandparents show up, and the fact that fucking Lance Hendrickson is Nic Cage's dad in this is so wild. And their whole interactions are amazing. I got like chills when it was like, oh, Grandma and Grandpa are here. Ding dong. Open the door and there's fucking Lance Hendrickson. I was like, I didn't think I could get any more hype for this movie. Like, that's amazing. It's not set Lance Hendrickson on fire while he's cursing out Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's true. Nothing is. Yeah.
Or him calling people buffaloes. But
and put his whole pussy into that movie.
we'll talk about Hard Target someday. But yeah, there's a lot of crazy choices made in this film. And I think as long as you're fully understanding going in for the it's like going on a goddamn theme park ride. Mm-hmm. Don't go ride, the Hulk roller coaster and be like, I can't believe it wasn't It's a Small World. Like,
yeah,
you kind of get a general idea of what you're signing up for, when you kind of see the elements that were put into it. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about highlights, lowlights. Mm-hmm. Is there anything negative that you really want to say about this film? I'll be honest, there's not a ton of negative things I want to say because I understood the assignment going into this. Exactly. So I'm like, yeah, okay, this is good. This is what it's
the only thing that I would critique it on is that in order to prevent them, I mean, I'm speculating as if this was the causation, but to keep Selma, Blair, and Nic Cage from actively, like, abusing their own children, the daughter's boyfriend is often used as a punching bag. And at one point, this dude takes a fall off the, like, upstairs level.
Right.
Definitely hits a chair in a way that would break his neck. And spoiler alert, somehow the boy fucking lives.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that to me is like, I get that we wanted to maintain the distance of like that cat and mouse kind of element. Mm-hmm. And that like, well, we needed to show them doing something. So, okay, cool. They'll beat on the boyfriend.
Yeah, they have to beat up somebody.
Yeah, but he is used as a very comic book level punching bag of like, oh, well, he didn't actually see him die, so he's okay. Like, we could have potentially found another way to work around that or like, let them get a couple of hits in, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, and so similarly, and this is going to be, I'm absolutely going to end up on a watch list after this comment. Mm. So this film, for whatever reason, got a very limited release in America.
Yes, probably because it depicts children being killed.
Right. That's exactly what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
If they took my suggestion, they would have gotten no release anywhere. If this exact same film and premise was made in the 70s, we would have seen kids get killed on screen.
Oh, of course.
There are about as close as we can get reasonably of seeing like violence on children.
Yeah.
But not as gratuitous as you would expect.
That's true. The gore in the film does come from other aspects. Like, at one point, the children get a hold of a handgun. Selma Blair gets shot in the arm. They have like kind of you see the scene of them like cleaning and patching her up, which is pretty like, bleh.
Yeah, it's pretty yucky.
At one point, again, the punching bag boyfriend takes a really gnarly like hanger through the cheek kind of Hellraiser moment.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not really sure how
but even
he's fine after that one, but that's like, really the worst.
When the housekeeper basically kicks off the violence of the movie and kills her daughter, it is a lightning quick cut. Mm-hmm. She's like tenderizing meat. She's kind of looking over, giving her daughter the stink eye. Yeah. And then we finally get to, she swings the hammer at her. And before we make contact, we've cut away to, I think, the little boy's reaction.
Probably,
to it.
Yeah.
And then we hear a lot of, like, mooshing sounds.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's like you'll kind of see at one point in the school scene, like the parent like tackles the kid to the ground and then we kind of cut away. Yeah. Like you'll see them going in for the attack, but you don't see like
if this was
the actual kill because you can't fucking kill kids in movies.
If this was done by Damien Leone and was doing like Terrifier 4, you would have seen like guts get pulled out.
Oh no, of course.
But then again, those are completely independent films. Like they are not
they're not banking on
movies.
Release like that.
So that would have been my only thing is like if I could, I would make this not only just a black comedy, but like truly like this is wildly fucked up to show like actual kid murder as opposed to like we're getting as close as we can to the line.
Yeah.
Because just and not because I want to see that. I'm not like bring in Cannibal Holocaust, but because
thanks, Chris Hansen.
It's we're going so absurd in every direction.
Yeah, that like
it's
that's
very
the only
obvious.
direction we didn't go.
Yeah, it's very obvious that we pull back suddenly.
Yeah.
Like even with the incredibly fucked up woman about to kill a newborn scene, it is very tastefully shot. It's shot where we're just seeing the baby in her arms and just sort of like intensity building and everyone else sort of freaking out. Mm-hmm. She's not Homer Simpson like choking the baby. Like,
she's not shaking the dog in Men in Black.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. That would have been way fucked up.
They're
What an
rehearsing
image.
for a play.
Oh, yeah, that's what Will Smith turns around and says.
Yeah.
The mom's shaking the newborn baby.
Yeah,
Um,
they're rehearsing. It's fine.
The baby owes her money. But yeah, so those would be the overall sort of like, it's unfortunate we couldn't go that far. This is sort of negatives. I agree. The indestructible boyfriend seems very strange.
He's very plot convenient.
Of like, why can't we just beat these kids?
Yeah, literally.
But like, overall though, positive. I think it's very interesting. Are you bothered by A? And this is foreshadowing. Are you bothered by A, we don't get a concrete explanation as to what the catalyst is, why the parents become bloodthirsty? Or B, are you upset at all that there's not a like, quote unquote, definitive ending to the film?
I don't care so much for the, like, not having a reason. Like, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Because, you know, shit just happens.
And very
I
reminiscent of original Night of the Living Dead.
Exactly. And I would rather
Zombies are
not
just a thing.
have an explanation than have a shitty explanation. Because that's usually what ends up happening.
Something lackluster. You're like,
Yeah.
really?
Or we over-explain and you're like, I don't fucking care. I don't need all that. We do kind of hint at, like, a resolution, which makes me curious to wonder if it was cut down for, like, editing or if it was just to give you, like, false hope. Because towards the end, there's some moments where you kind of hear the static from Selma Blair's perspective, and she has, like, this kind of moment of clarity of, like, what the fuck are we doing? But then she just kind of goes back into it, and it's like, no, we still have to kill the kids. So I was wondering if with enough, like, head trauma, essentially, it would, like, knock it out of them or, like, sort of knock them back to reality. But
Flintstone logic.
yeah, you would think. I mean, why not? But we don't really get any sort of resolution at the end other than just like, we're gonna wait it out, I guess. Like, I don't know, there's no good. And everybody went back to normal and it was fine.
Yeah.
But I also don't mind that either because, like, not everything has a clean ending or a happy ending or an easy, like, farcical Frasier wrap up at the end. Like, not everything can have that. So, like, I think it's one of those overarching, like, message or tone of the film is, like, just having to sit with the uncomfortable feelings.
The premise.
Yeah. Like,
these are supposed to be the people who naturally protect their young.
Exactly. It's uncomfy. And like you said with the brand new baby scene, like, it's uncomfy. And so, yeah, at the end of not having it, like, tie itself up in a happy little ending bow, like, you just have to kind of sit with that.
And I think that's probably ultimately what they were going for. Because, like you said, the dry erase board with, like, let's think of all the wildest shit we could of this premise. Also, again, not that you have to do a fucking book report before you go see a movie. This guy doesn't really do a lot of, like, the end. Crank 1 doesn't have a clean ending. Crank 2 also doesn't have a clean ending. Ghost Rider 2 doesn't have a clean ending. Like, they all just sort of, like, to be continued. Like, they kind of all have that sort of energy to it.
Yeah.
But also, especially Crank 1, Crank 2, and Mom and Dad all function under that same idea of, like, this is the space that we've created.
Yeah.
And we're just going to play in this space. And I guess that's kind of where that line of, like, gonzo, blah, blah, blah. Like, I've never heard that term used in this context before. But I guess that's what you can call it, of just, like, it's almost the slice of life of just this.
Yeah.
We've just made this thing. This is our premise. And there's not really a clean beginning. There's not really a clean end. It's just sort of, we're here.
And I'm not mad about that, though, because I would rather spend more time in
Yes.
this slice of life than wasting time trying to either explain it or wrap it up.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that they did have that. That they had, like, a squeaky clean ending, wrap, credits, whatever. If we had to cut that to make more room for Nicolas Cage,
Exactly.
Rattlesnake licking his can of beer for no reason,
For no
or
reason.
doing the weird, like, hand of God, like, moment reaching up to the sun before slamming a child's head into the concrete, like,
So good.
or, you know,
Cutting the flashback scenes. Like,
yeah, if we had to cut a clean cut ending to include the full Nic Cage, I didn't expect to grow old speech, followed by the hokey pokey smash a man cave pool table with a sledgehammer.
Oh, yeah! You put your right foot in, you take your right foot out, you do the hokey pokey, and you fucking work it all out!
to leave those in, then the juice was worth the squeeze.
Oh, totally, yeah. Like, I would rather sacrifice an ending or beginning than any of those type of scenes.
Because those are what are memorable.
Yeah.
And we also mentioned this when we were watching it. I think if you had taken two other actors, and it wasn't Nic Cage and Selma Blair, I think this film would be far less memorable.
Yeah.
This is definitely one of those, not the bees, Vampire's Kiss.
Yes.
Kind of like, I would say maybe top 5 Nic Cage just wiling out kind of performances.
Well, yeah, because if you remove them from the equation, then the film doesn't go far enough in any one direction.
Right.
Because, like, for bringing several things to the table, and I think especially it's a dynamic when you have, like, a comedic horror film.
Right.
You have to dial it up to 11.
In some way.
Some
element has to be close.
Exactly. Of either the comedy does, or the horror element does, or the gore does, to make that combination work. So without Nic Cage being at 11, I feel like it'd be like, well, it was okay. It wasn't a great horror movie. It wasn't a great suspense movie. It wasn't a great black comedy because it just didn't have enough
of any one
of those things. But Nic Cage really, like, is the linchpin in that.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. So 2 questions for you, and then we're going to read some reviews that you'll have to pull up on IMDb. So number 1, we got to come up with like a rating system. We didn't rate Big Shark. What would be your rating system for this?
Better than Jaws.
Better than Jaws. Okay, so this Mom and Dad
is better than Jaws.
Oh, that's true. So what is this better than? That's okay. That works. We're building the plane as we're flying it. So what, like, bigger named film is this better than? Mom and Dad better than Rosemary's Baby?
Oh, for sure. Fuck Rosemary's
There you
Baby.
go. I wouldn't say fuck Rosemary's Baby, but I would say Mom and Dad is better than that. It's a more enjoyable watch.
Yeah.
A little faster paced. And then secondly, a question that we did ask during Big Shark, is this an exploitation film? And here's the thing, I feel like we're going to change the definition of exploitation film every episode.
Yeah, because I want to say yes, because it fits in that, like...
This is shit you don't normally see on film?
But also freakishly niche. Because to me that kind of falls into the, like, exploitation film category of, like, that's why you had, like, nothing that I can legally say...
Exploitation?
Yeah, sure.
Nunsploitation?
There you go.
Blaxploitation?
Freakishly specific exploitations. This could fall into that category of, like, you're killing kids, and, like, nobody really fucking does that.
That's true. That is sort of a rule. So, I would say, yeah, this is exploitation. So now, to kind of wrap this up in a bow of the fuck you, it's a good movie, let's go through some negative reviews on IMDb and see if they bring up any points that we've neglected somewhere.
Okay, well, starting off with the lowest rating of 1 out of 10 from Myrtle-Han-316.
Oh, we're putting people on blast.
Yeah,
Okay.
fuck you, Myrtle, from February 12th of 2020, said, it has no sense. I mean, please do not waste a minute thinking about watching this film. 3 people found it helpful, 7 people thumbs down.
I would not find that helpful.
I would not find that helpful. Literal Band Trash from June 7th of 2019 said, horrible, don't waste your time. This was an hour and 20 minutes of my life that I will never get. Such a complete waste of my time. The plot sucked. The acting was bad. Literal Band Trash doesn't fucking like Nic Cage. And there was no resolution at the end to leave me with a sense of understanding or satisfaction. That's the point! Excuse me. There are random flashbacks shown throughout the movie that interrupt and distract from the plot. They're part of the film. Soundtrack sucks. The only redeemable part of the movie was the grandparent scene.
The grandparent scene was pretty great.
There you
go. That's a big fuck you. I do not agree with that.
Yeah. Love to Geek, March 18th, 2021. Very simply put, horrific. I was hoping this film might a bit of fun, but I was very, very wrong. I actually found it extremely disturbing and horrific. The first scene with the mother in her car leaving her infant was shocking enough. Okay, that's not what happens. But then as the film went on, there was another scene where a new mother gives birth, and what she was trying to do to the baby was when I switched this horrid film off. I'm no prude. I don't mind some violence in my films, but I think one went too far. I won't be going back to this one. Plus, I found the music really irritating.
Yeah, it's noise. It's Red Bull on film.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, absolutely disgusting film. Johnery.
Oh, put you on blast.
Well, John Uri or Johnery, October 20th, 2022. Watched this film yesterday on Stars. Looked interesting, and I'm somewhat a Cage and Blair fan. I don't feel like you are, John.
Also, with Nicolas Cage, I don't think you could be somewhat. I think it's all or nothing. It's either you're ride or die. Like,
I also wanted to see what Zachary Arthur did before starring in the Chucky TV show. Is that the kid?
That is the
Oh,
kid.
good for him. And so I gave this film a shot. Big mistake. It started out as a typical zombie-like premise, which I don't mind. But the story made absolutely no sense, and the cause of the parents wanting to kill their kids was never really explained. I still can't get the scene out of my head where a mother tries to kill her newborn child right after giving birth to the kid. Absolutely horrific. Do not see the sick monstrosity of a
You know,
film.
Brian Taylor was like patting himself on the back
China.
reading that. Like he was like, yes, 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 yes.
Oh, okay, this one you might enjoy.
Okay.
Sophie Mater, Sophie Matar,
You so-
-1901. Worse than worst. Awful acting, awful directing, and just. Nicolas Cage has reached beyond the edge of cinematic collapse. They should stop giving him starring roles. Even my 7-year-old nephew can act better than Cage.
Hey, Sophie.
Sophie,
Eat shit.
bestie, I don't think so. Sophie's not a Nic Cage fan.
Well, and here's the thing. So just the backtrack with the sudden flashbacks. They are all moments that still make sense because if you cut the flashbacks out, there is no building of this family unit. If you're only seeing the shitty here and now of this family, you are not going to pull for the kids at all. But there's a one with Nic Cage and his son bonding over the car.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene with Selma Blair when she first sees her daughter when she's a little baby and she's like doing makeup for the first time, and it's like a bonding experience with that. It's like we are building moments with this family so that you give a shit about them.
So that it has some gravitas. Otherwise,
Right.
you'd be like, yeah, fuck them kids. Like,
yeah, you'd be like, why aren't they just thrown into a wood chipper?
Yeah. Tomail moo. Tomail moo.
Okay.
Oh. The well has no bottom. The only way you can enjoy this film is if you are both deaf and blind.
Wow, how dare you.
Rude.
All right, read one more and then we'll give them the big fuck you.
All right, let me see if I can find you a good one. Okay. Flirdelli-HN.
Hey, Flordelli.
Nepotism won't buy you talent. I cannot believe how embarrassing Nic Cage is. You can tell during his monologues that he really thinks he's just absolutely serving an impressive and talented performance. It's genuinely embarrassing. Flirdelli, the phrase you're looking for is that the man is serving cunt.
Yes, because he is.
Yes.
Nepotism. By the way, how can you, okay, if you're fucking, what's his face from The Boys? If you're Jack, Quaid, and you're just starting out in Hollywood, then yeah, you can be like nepotism, whatever. When you're like a 50-year-old man and you've had a fucking giant movie career, I don't think we can go like, well, if it wasn't for Francis Ford Coppola, Nicolas Cage would be nowhere.
Nic Cage
Like-
wouldn't be in the film Mom and Dad.
Like,
yeah.
no, I think Nic Cage made it eventually. I think he did okay. I think when fucking, Francis Ford Coppola's out here making Megalopolis or whatever bullshit, I think Nic Cage is doing okay.
Okay, so I do have a couple of things under the trivia section if you'd like to know them.
Sure.
So, I mean, this was before Unbearable Weight came out, obviously.
Okay.
But it did say that Nic Cage said this was his favorite movie that he had filmed in 10 years. Slay.
Love that. It looks like he's having a fucking ball. Doing this
Exactly.
film.
John Waters named this film among his top 10 favorites released in 2018. Ironically, it shares a title with Mom and Dad, released in 1945, a film that Waters had previously cited as having a huge impact on his aesthetics and career trajectory.
Amazing.
And then in one scene, Nic Cage's character has a quick flashback into his younger years when he's driving recklessly with a topless woman straddling him. This sequence is also used for Christopher Maloney's character Nick Sachs in The War on Easter in 2019, when he has a flashback into his younger years during a sit-down at his daughter's teacher. Brian Taylor directed both the movie and the episode.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So he was like, hey, I've got a great scene I can use.
Now, you know what we should use?
Well, all in all, I can sum it up by saying, fuck you. 2017's Mom and Dad is a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Any closing thoughts?
It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like it.
How would you rank it amongst Nicolas Cage movies for you?
That's a good question. That's a toughie. I'd say if it's not top 5, it's pretty close, to be honest, in terms of, like, his performance in it. Because then you have to look at it like, are we ranking performance or are we ranking just, like, favorite movies?
Right. I would say it's at least in the top 10 for me.
Yeah.
I would say I like the choices he made in this better than Willy's Wonderland, which is, the premise of he wanted to be an silent movie. So that's fun, but I think this is better than that. But not as holy shit worthy as Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
I don't know that anything is, to be honest, in terms of, like, Nick
Or
Cage.
Face Off.
He's peak Nick Cage there. That's true. Also 100% sex.
Yes.
9 out of 10 kill ratio.
And folks, there you have it. Our review of Mom and Dad from 2017, officially rated fuck you. It's a good movie. And thank you so much for tuning in and listening to BrainBuster Video, the podcast. Thanks to Luna Lynn for joining me once again on the show for hosting duties, and a couple of last minute announcements. First of all, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the BrainBuster Video Patreon. We have special secret club member information and deals. We've got subscriptions where you can get a new release every month or a foundling. There's all kinds of brainstorming and things happening over there, and you get to listen to this podcast early. So BrainBuster Video on Patreon is number one. Number two, starting on June the 20th, She-Wolf Media and BrainBuster Video are dropping a huge, not-so-spooky merch drop on our collective shops. We're going to have a bunch of new products. We're going to be debuting our mystery boxes. First time. Those used to be a convention exclusive, and all kinds of new designs, new projects, stuff you're not going to want to miss. So make sure on June 20th, 2025, you visit brainbuster.video or shewolfmedia.art to pick up your new favorite art piece under the sun. Thank you all once again for listening and participating. And for everybody here, I'm Zach Romero. And please do me a favor, continue circulating the tapes. Thank you.